So David, you were one of the students that was involved in the Challenge Day, and what kind of impact did that have on you?
Well, Challenge Day was kind of a chance to get yourself settled with everyone, like apologize for like sometimes you don't really think of it, but after being through Challenge Day, you kind of see that doing stuff like teasing, just kidding around, like, oh, you're so gay, and punching them. It's like sometimes it hurts, and sometimes they actually do take it seriously.
Yeah.
But you don't think about it, and Challenge Day kind of let you open to that and let you see that that did hurt people, and I did hurt people.
Brings an awareness that what you say does have consequences, and
even
it does
if you're
impact
just
people.
joking.
Did you find that there was things that maybe people had said to you that was hurtful to you, but they didn't realize it?
Sometimes, you know, my ethnicity, sometimes they joke around, and sometimes I do take it personally, but I don't let it show. And so I guess they realize that too.
Yeah. So as a 9th grader, what are some of the biggest challenges that you guys are facing?
Mostly schoolwork.
Mostly schoolwork.
It's hard to keep sports and school and together, but sometimes the crowd, the hallways are kind of crowded, and you just hear gossip and rumors, and sometimes you might pass it on, and then you start rumors, and you don't really think you're starting them, but you just heard what you're just saying what you heard, but you're not really thinking about it.
Right, right. So on the Challenge Day, kind of take us through how it started, and what were some of the activities that you were involved in, and what kind of outcome did you have from each of those activities?
Well, first when we went to Challenge Day, we sat in chairs with circles, and the Challenge Day leaders asked you, how do you feel with all these people around? And then we looked, and then we thought about what we felt, and then they said, look around and see how you feel, and then after this day is over, we're going to ask you this question again. And then we went through all the activities, like we touched each other, and then we hooked hands, and then asked each other questions, and danced around, and just got to get really close. And then after the end of the day, they asked, how do you feel? And I felt safe.
Yeah.
I felt good.
So Leanne, as a parent and a volunteer during Challenge Day, what was that like for you?
I really, really like Challenge Day.
Yeah.
I think that it really helps out our kids. And I went with the first year I went, my daughter was in 8th grade, but she was on ASB, so she got to go. And I could not even believe how wonderful I thought it was.
Yeah.
What a big difference it was. And then the second year I went to the high school, because we did it at the high school. And that was way different than at the 9th grade, but very good still. And then this last year I went.
Now, is it typical that Challenge Day is brought to the 8th grade level?
It wasn't to the 8th grade. She was on the ASB at the 8th grade, so she got to go with the 9th graders.
Oh, I see. Okay. And then this year she actually was able to participate as a 9th grader.
Right.
And what kind of changes did you see in her? Like, did you see just a confidence? What was the changes that you witnessed as a parent seeing your daughter go through that?
Through both of them, I think that the biggest change that I saw was that they were more open.
Okay. With
me and with their dad, that they just thought that it was okay to say things, more things. And we've always been a I love you family, a huggy family, so
that wasn't necessarily anything new.
No,
but
still just more of an open communication about what's going on at schools.
Right. So you don't necessarily have to have kids and a family that's having trouble at home to be able to benefit from Challenge Day. Right.
And there's been things that have happened in the school now, and I'll say, well, what should you do? What do you think you should do in that situation? And they'll be, okay, well, Challenge Day tells me that I need to go talk to that person and encourage them. And
basically was the morning part of it was just limbering up and getting into the program, and the facilitators, the Challenge Day people, did a really quite good job of having probably 8 or 10 different little exercises that thoroughly mixed the student body and invited recalcitrant kids into the program.
Yeah.
And then the real big event of the day was primarily just a 1 or 2 minute discussion with each of the kids, and it was more about listening than it was about talking.
Okay.
So each one of them talked for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
And that was the big part of the day.
So they got to learn a little bit about everybody else around them.
Well, yeah, the conversation started with, if you really knew me, you would know this about me. And they talked about lowering the water level, and they made an analogy of we're all like icebergs, and that the water level is right at the top. But if you lower the water level and expose the entire iceberg, there's a lot more.
Right.
And so the events of the first part of the day led up to this small discussion group of about 4 kids and me as a mentor, and then there are probably 10 of those distributed around the room. And then each child then had that, well, each not child, each one of the participants had the opportunity to start off that sentence, if you really knew me, you would. And they really brought out the things that were heavy to them.
Really?
And it really was a lot more psychological baggage than I knew was there.
I was very impressed with the Challenge Day facilitators because honestly, at the beginning of the day, we had some kids who were very resistant.
Okay.
You know, really didn't want to participate, didn't want to take a chance, didn't want to take that first step, and they were very good at getting everybody participating.
Okay.
I think that alone was a huge challenge. And then from there, the things that I saw, the things that I heard, you know, once kids started being receptive and making those changes, and you can almost see little light bulbs going off in their heads that, you know, this was a good thing, I'm safe, oh my gosh, these things are happening to other people. They started talking, expressing themselves. But it really confirmed a lot of the things that I know from my everyday work at the Department of Human Services, that we have a lot of kids who are very overwhelmed, who aren't in perfect family situations, and that they carry a lot of baggage within themselves every day, and part of that day includes school.
Yeah, absolutely. A big part of it.
A big part of it.
So those kids that you mentioned that were resistant, did you come to find out it was a resistance because they wanted to buck the system? It was a resistance because they really didn't want something to come out that they were very uncomfortable with, or they were just flat out being a little bit difficult?
I think it was a little bit of each of those.
Okay.
I mean, as we know, there's a lot of different personalities, and we all have characters in our classes that we've gone to school with who are going to push those levels of authority. But by the end of the day, they really had all come around, and you know, some of those kids were in tears, and some of them were very talkative, and some of them were leading groups. So it was an amazing turnaround for one day. I'm just very impressed.
Your organization helps fund Challenge Day then? Makes it possible for it to be able to be brought to the school?
We have been the main funder of the last 3 years. We did, last year, Mid-Columbia Center for Living was a big donor. They were not able to, but we've been the main funder. It's been one of our main goals to be able to provide this program. Tim introduced it to us 3 years ago. Our group saw the great pluses that can come from it. It's really kind of become that whole change, you know, and that's a word that's very popular right now.
Sure.
We were involved in it before it became so popular.
Yeah.
But as far as what that word means, and I think our Youth Think has taken that on to what are the possibilities around that, and making our community, specifically the Dalles, a better community, one where children do have a future, parents have a future also, and we have stronger families.
Okay. So does Youth Think also fund some of the other schools within Wasco County for Challenge
This
Day?
was the first year we were, Duford was real interested in having it out there, so we were able to work with them, and they were able to experience it this year too. Over the 3 years, we've had probably over 1,000 kids go through the program, and I'd say close to 400 adults.
For more information on Challenge Day and how you can bring it to your school, go to www.challengeday.org.
They took it back to their schools, and now they're starting to do Challenge Day in their schools. So it starts small, and then our goal is to make that grow into the community so it becomes a part of not only the schools, but some of the change that we see, it breaks down those barriers so people can communicate. We're hopeful that that circle of change will start growing.
So if somebody doesn't have Challenge Day at their school and they're watching this and they would like to have it, where do they start?
They go to our website, challengeday.org. and it says, how do I get Challenge Day to my school? It's a link. You click on it, it gives you very thorough instructions, what to have in place, who to talk to, if you're a teen, who you need to be in conversation with so that they can actually do all of that stuff for you. But you know, it doesn't hold anybody back. We've had a lot of teens that have done it as a senior project. Can I get Challenge Day to my school? And they make it, and then Challenge Day has had, you know, a connection with that school for a couple of years now. So anybody that wants to bring their challenge Day to their school can make it happen.